I have a 187-gallon reef tank, and every now and then I like to share it in real time using either Facebook Live or YouTube. The first time I tried this, I used my smartphone, and it fell way short in representing the true colors and vibrancy of the tank. My tank, like most reef tanks, has a lot of blue light, and my phone didn't have a way to adjust the white balance to capture the authentic colors. And then there is audio. In many instances, you will not want to rely on a phone to capture audio. Motivated to find a better solution, I did a lot of research and came up with a way to live stream using my DSLR. The DSLR had the necessary white balance controls, and it also gave me the option to capture other perspectives using different lenses. For instance, I love the up-close detail you get with a macro lens, and to be able to stream this live is just cool. My DSLR, a Canon 5D Mark III, did a great job for the 3.5 years I had it, but it was time for an upgrade. I sold my Canon and purchased a Sony a7 III full-frame mirrorless camera. Why did I do this? Generally, mirrorless cameras are better for video versus DSLRs, so I performed some due diligence and settled on the Sony since it had a reputation for producing stunning 4K video. Of course, it would be nearly impossible to stream in 4K, but I wanted to step things up for the videos I edit and produce for my YouTube channel. There are also times when I like to live stream using a GoPro, since I can attach it to a chest harness and free up my hands, allowing me to easily do live demonstrations from my viewpoint. The equipment needed to produce live video and the steps for streaming are very similar for a DSLR, mirrorless camera, GoPro, and even a professional camcorder. Let's start with the equipment list. Note that I will put links to all of these things below in the video description. You will need the following: computer or laptop. You will not be able to effectively stream video if you don't have a computer or laptop with enough giddy-up. Check with the manufacturer to make sure you have a powerful enough processor, sufficient RAM, and a good graphics card. I can stream really well using my iMac, but when I tried using my wife's MacBook, the stream was terrible. You'll also need a Blackmagic design UltraStudio mini recorder. You will need to set this device up on your computer or laptop, and there is a link in the video description below for a good tutorial on how to do this. Third, you will need a Thunderbolt cable. Fourth, you're going to need an Apple Thunderbolt 3:2 adapter. You will need this if you have a newer Mac with a Thunderbolt 3 port. Some Windows PCs and laptops have Thunderbolt 3 ports as well. You'll also need an HDMI cable. For a DSLR mirrorless camera or GoPro, you will need a male-female HDMI cable. Go with a long one to maximize the reach between your computer or laptop and video camera. For professional camcorders, use a standard cable with male connectors. Again, I would recommend a long one, such as a 50-footer. Mini-HDMI to HDMI cables will also be needed. You won't need this for a professional camcorder. For a DSLR or mirrorless camera, the Mini-HDMI to HDMI cable should come with the camera, although they are pretty short. I picked up a longer one to further extend the reach of my camera. And for a GoPro, you will need a GoPro Micro HDMI cable. As for the audio, I highly recommend purchasing an external microphone for your DSLR or mirrorless camera, such as the one sold by Rode. Professional camcorders have good external microphones, but if the subjects are more than 6 feet away, use a wireless lavalier microphone system. This system would also be the optimal way to go for a DSLR or mirrorless camera if your subjects are not close to the camera. The internal microphones on GoPros quite frankly stink. To upgrade my GoPro's audio, I picked up an external microphone as well as a few other accessories, including a GoPro aluminum case, a 6-inch 3-pole audio cable, some adjustable cable clips, quick release thumb screws, a Saramonic microphone, a GoPro mic adapter, 3M dual lock reclosable fasteners, a mic windscreen, a phone tripod mount adapter, and a GoPro tripod. Again, I have put links for all of these items in the video description below. I have also included a link to a video on how to put all of the pieces together. Okay, let's go over connecting the camera to the cables and streaming equipment. Connect one end of the Thunderbolt cable to the Thunderbolt port on the Blackmagic Design UltraStudio Mini recorder. Connect the other end of the Thunderbolt cable to the Thunderbolt port on your computer or laptop. As previously mentioned, if you have a newer Mac with a Thunderbolt 3 port, then you will need to use a Thunderbolt 3 to 2 adapter. Use this as well for Windows PCs and laptops with Thunderbolt 3 ports. For a DSLR, mirrorless camera, or GoPro, insert the male end of the male-female HDMI cable into the HDMI port on the Blackmagic designed UltraStudio mini recorder. For a professional camcorder, insert one end of the standard male-to-male HDMI cable into the mini recorder and the other end into the HDMI port on the camcorder. For a DSLR, mirrorless camera, or GoPro, take the appropriate Mini-HDMI to HDMI cable and insert the male HDMI end into the female end of the HDMI cable coming out of the mini recorder. Finally, insert the Mini-HDMI connector into the Mini-HDMI port on the camera. Now let's talk streaming software. I use a free solution called Open Broadcaster Software, or OBS. Another way to go is Wirecast, which costs $695 and has many cool features not available in OBS, including the ability to live stream simultaneously to both Facebook and YouTube. If you want a professional streaming solution, then use Wirecast. Before opening up OBS, let's cover the bandwidth needed for live streaming. Step 1 is to test the upload speed at the location you're streaming from. You can do so by visiting speedtest.net and clicking on the Go button. I recommend having a minimum of 20 megabytes per second upload speed for live streaming. I also recommend being hardwired to the internet at both private and public locations versus using Wi-Fi. A 300-foot Ethernet cable is relatively inexpensive. If Wi-Fi is your only option, do it on a password-protected network, especially in a public place. Bandwidth can be consumed quickly on a non-password protected network by others browsing the internet on their phones. A lower video resolution will also provide more cushion in terms of bandwidth, and my preference is to always stream at 720p instead of 1080p. I typically set my stream settings to 720p at 60 frames per second for both YouTube and Facebook. You can't stream at 60 frames per second on Facebook, but OBS does not have a 720p 30 frames per second option, so the 60 frames per second option is automatically knocked down to 30 frames per second. 720p is still high definition, and I found the quality to be pretty darn good. One other very important thing: before launching a live stream on your Facebook page or YouTube channel, test it on a fake Facebook page or YouTube channel. I have personally set up test accounts on both Facebook and YouTube to test my streams to make sure there is enough bandwidth and no buffering. After starting the stream, you can monitor its health in OBS. More on that in a bit. Did I mention how important it is to test? Okay, let's move on to the next steps. If your camera is already connected to the mini recorder and computer or laptop, then disconnect it to change the video resolution coming out of the camera. For demonstration purposes, let's set this to 720p at 60 frames per second. There is one more thing you will need to do for a GoPro. While it is disconnected from the mini recorder, go into Preferences and scroll down to HDMI output and set it to live. Once everything has been set, reconnect your camera to the mini recorder, which should be connected to either your computer or laptop. Turn the camera on and launch OBS. If you are using a DSLR or mirrorless camera, make sure it is in the video mode. Alright, we're getting close. The last part is to configure OBS. Under Source at the bottom, click on the plus sign and select Blackmagic device. If you don't see this option, then double check your install of this device. Click on the gear icon to the right of the plus sign, and in the mode drop-down menu, select either 720p 59.94 or 720p 60. You will know you made the right selection when you see the video from your camera appear. Leave the defaults for everything else and click OK. Under Controls in the bottom right corner, click on Settings. Use all of the defaults in the General tab. Click on the Stream tab and make sure Streaming Services is selected at the top. Under Service, choose either Facebook Live or YouTube/YouTube Gaming. You will notice that there are many other choices such as Twitch, so this tutorial can be used for those platforms as well. Okay, now Stream Key. There are different procedures for retrieving this for both Facebook and YouTube. For Facebook, go to your Facebook page. Click on the Live or Live Video button at the top of the page. It's under the cover photo. Click on Connect, find the Stream Key and copy it and paste it into the Stream Key field in OBS. If you don't see live video on Facebook, then visit this page and click on the Broadcast on Facebook Live link. Sign into Facebook and click on the live video button that should now appear at the top of your page. You will find the stream key by clicking on Connect. For YouTube, go to your YouTube channel, click on your account icon on the top right corner and select Creator Studio in the drop-down. From the menu on the left side, select Live Streaming. If you can't click on Live Streaming, then your channel needs to be verified by YouTube for live streaming. Typically, this only takes a day. At the bottom under Encoder Setup, find the Stream/Name key and copy and paste it into the stream field in OBS. While you're there, enter a title and description for your live stream. In the Output menu, select Simple for output mode. Use 2500 as the video bitrate and 128 for the audio bitrate. You can record the stream, but I would advise against it since it will chew up processing power on your computer or laptop. In the Audio menu, select 44.1 kHz as a sample rate. Use Stereo for channels and choose Disabled for both desktop audio options. For mic/auxiliary audio device, choose Built-in microphone. Select Disabled for the other two auxiliary audio options. Select Fast for audio meter decay rates and Sample Peak for peak meter type. Leave the boxes below unchecked. In the Video menu, select 1280x720 for base canvas resolution and output scaled resolution. Use bicubic sharpening scaling 16 samples for the downscale filter. Choose either 59.94 or 60. Use the same frames per second you selected as the mode under Video Source. Leave both the hotkeys and advanced menus as is. Click OK. Before you launch the stream, make sure you have some headphones plugged into your laptop or computer so you can monitor the sound. I also want to remind you about testing the stream on a test account. Okay, are we ready? Hit the Start Streaming button under Controls. If you chose YouTube, then you are live. For Facebook, enter a title and description for the live event to the right of where the stream key is in the Facebook API. Hit Go Live in the bottom right-hand corner and you are in business. To monitor the stream health, observe the CPU in the lower right-hand corner of OBS. You should be fine if it is under 70%, but you may see some buffering if it climbs into the 80% range. If this happens, you either don't have enough bandwidth or your computer or laptop is not powerful enough for streaming. This is why it is critical to first run the stream on a test account. A buffering, choppy live stream is a terrible user experience and will turn off your followers. Many thanks for watching, and please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and also don't forget to hit that subscribe button to be alerted to my latest videos. And if you're interested in purchasing a copy of my book, A Reef Bum's Guide to Keeping an SPS Reef Tank, please click on the link in the upper right hand corner. The book includes a whole bunch of tips to help you maintain a beautiful reef tank, and it also includes a bunch of photography and videography tips.